Intro. Okay, let's be honest. When you hear the word pigeon, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Breadcrumbs, city streets, bird poop on your car. We often see them as background noise in our everyday lives, ordinary, dirty, maybe even annoying. But what if I told you? Pigeons are insanely smart, like smarter than your dog in some ways. Even capable of recognizing themselves in a mirror, solving problems, and being used in military missions. Yup, pigeons are kind of a big deal, and by the end of this video, you might just see them in a whole new light. Let's dive into the secret genius of pigeons. Pigeons and the mirror test. Let's start with something wild. Self-recognition. The mirror test is a famous experiment in animal psychology. You put a mark on an animal's body, usually somewhere it can't see, and then you show it a mirror. If the animal realizes the reflection is itself, it might try to remove the mark or examine it. That shows self-awareness. Humans, elephants, dolphins, some apes, they've passed the mirror test. And guess what? So have pigeons. In fact, some pigeons were able to use the mirror to find the mark and even peck at it, which proves they understand the concept of "that's me" for a bird with a brain smaller than a walnut. That's huge. Memory superpowers. Next up, memory. Pigeons have extraordinary visual memory. In one famous experiment, scientists showed pigeons hundreds of images, different shapes, photos, even human faces, and pigeons could remember them with up to 90% accuracy. Not just that. In a study at the University of Otago in New Zealand, pigeons were taught to distinguish between paintings by Picasso and Monet. Yes, seriously. They learned to recognize the difference in artistic styles, and when shown new paintings by the same artists, they still knew who painted what. They can also remember specific people. If you feed a pigeon in the park, it'll remember your face, and possibly even bring a few feathered friends next time. Pigeons can learn human language concepts. Here's where things get crazy. In another experiment, pigeons learned to recognize individual letters of the English alphabet. Some were even able to tell real English words from random strings of letters. It's called orthographic processing, and it's something we thought only humans, or maybe some primates, could do. So while they can't speak or understand language like parrots, they can process symbols and associate them with meaning. Researchers also found pigeons could categorize things, like separating photos of trees from photos of people, or identifying whether a face looks happy or sad. That's next-level cognitive processing, abstract thinking and counting. Pigeons don't just recognize, they can analyze. Scientists have trained pigeons to understand concepts like same versus different, and even taught them to count objects. In one study, they were shown images with different numbers of objects. The pigeons learned to pick the image with more items or fewer, depending on the task. Think about that. A creature with no fingers, no calculator, and no internet access. Learning to count just by looking. That's like the bird version of Einstein. Homing ability, the living GPS. Okay, let's talk about the one thing pigeons are kind of famous for. Finding their way home. Pigeons are basically living GPS systems. They've been known to travel over 600 miles and still find their way back to their home loft. They use a combination of tools, the Earth's magnetic field, the position of the sun, the smell of the air, and even landmarks like rivers or buildings. This homing ability has been used for centuries, especially during wartime. During both World War I and II, pigeons were used as military messengers. One pigeon named Cher Omi saved the lives of nearly 200 soldiers after flying through enemy lines with a critical message, despite being injured. She was awarded the Croix de Guerre, a Medal of Honor, and is still remembered as a war hero. Pigeons in modern science. Today, pigeons are still helping scientists. Because of their ability to learn quickly and their excellent visual processing, they're used in studies related to cancer detection, pattern recognition, and even machine learning models. One experiment trained pigeons to examine biopsy slides to detect breast cancer, and the birds were nearly as accurate as trained medical professionals. They're basically feathered lab techs at this point. Pigeons are also helping us understand how the brain processes images, memory, and language, especially in areas like autism, dyslexia, and AI pattern detection. Conclusion. So, the next time you see a pigeon bobbing its head on the sidewalk or chilling on a windowsill, maybe don't shoo it away. You're looking at a brilliant, adaptable, memory-filled flying machine. They've survived cities, wars, and evolution, and they're still thriving today. We judge them for being common, but the truth is, pigeons are anything but ordinary. Smarter than we think. Absolutely. Smarter than some people on the internet. Let's just say the race is close. Outro. If this video gave you a whole new perspective on pigeons, drop a like, share it with your bird-loving friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Got a pigeon story? A weird encounter? Or just respect for the bird? Drop it in the comments. I read them all. Until next time, stay curious and keep your eyes on the skies.